Howdy all and welcome back to Lives. I think it's time to play a little Minecraft. Alright, so I think I can attempt to get some villagers over here today. We'll see how this goes. I don't know how well it goes, but we shall see. It's a relatively quiet day today until about an hour ago. They've been screaming and yelling at the dog and crying, and it is way past way past my noise levels for sure. For whatever reason, they decided that now that school is officially over for the summer, that the kids could swap their bedtime for a later bedtime, and they've been monsters the last couple of days. Get out of here. Really? I'll shoot you in the face then. You like that? Oh man, where'd that guy? So now that I've done all this, are there any villagers here? Hello? There were some. Oh, look at this. I totally forgot I was doing this. This was my path back, right? This is gonna be my way to bring them through, and then that didn't work out at all. That's fine, whatever. I've got my nether if there are any villagers left. Villager. Does anybody see a villager? I don't see any. There were villagers. Villagers? Did they all get killed? Oh man, did I do all this work for nothing? I don't think there's any villagers left. But I made everything to bring villagers. There were villagers here. Man. All I see is a pig. A lot of fish. Well, that ruins my day. There were villagers here when I was building this railway. Great. Well, then, I guess the thing to do is go back home and get a map and expand it all the way out, and then come back out and start looking around for a village. there were like 3 villagers, I'm pretty sure there. And I was thinking, oh man, they don't have they might not be the right kind of villagers because they might not have the new sittings, the new villager job sittings, however all that works. I don't know anything about because I never have ever understood the villagers. And then I got that thing, so I didn't want to work over there. And then I went out. I worked one time out there. There were people there. Okay, I need paper. Wow, I have a lot of stuff in my inventory. Paper. Any chance that I have a blank map? I do. Look at that. Empty maps. Okay, now if I go into the map thing, I place my empty map. Nope. Okay, so I think you just use it with paper, so I'm just going to take this with me. And we'll head back over there and see what I can do. Let's see, what else did I do? Kickstarted a couple of board games this week. I think I talked about that a little bit already, though. Let me get the name because I know. So I'm a big fan of Gloomhaven. I talked about that a little bit already in a different uh, episode. I don't know, 7 Days to Die probably. And so their new one, Frosthaven, looks like it takes place in a city for part of it, and so they've got like a big city built up and destruction of town or buildings and stuff, reducing your capabilities and stuff. It looked like a lot of fun, and it's sequel to Gloomhaven, which is an awesome game. Okay, so maps are working. So we got this map, and then what I want to do is I want to resize this map to the smallest size possible. Okay, so this is the smallest size possible. Oh, good, good. Yeah, it's super helpful that I'm pretty sure you just decided the direction of my house is the best way to go. Uh, well, I mean, I guess we could. Man, look at my tools are all nearly broken. This isn't even. It's even the direction I think I want to go, anyways. I want to go this way. I thought, ooh, there's a red squid. What is that? But no, that was just a drowning squid. So, yeah, so Frosthaven looked pretty cool. The other one is one that I'd looked at before. It's the Hunters 802114. And so they've got a second printing Kickstarter with some new expansions and stuff. It seems like it might be pretty cool. As that was the other one I jumped in on. I don't do a lot of kickstarting for sure. Um, I've got a couple of video games out there I kickstarted. One of them was about to come to Steam, Space Haven. The other one's supposed to be in alpha right now, I think. I didn't do the alpha Kickstarter though, so I'm still waiting. Of course, with all the stay-at-home stuff, might be a little trickier. Well, I don't know. I mean, I could see the board game stuff being trickier because it's a physical thing, but a lot of this software could be done definitely from home digitally. So I don't know if there's much of an excuse not to. If we take this and we do this, we get that nice little map there on the side. Uh, Also, I should probably be using this. I should probably dig down and get some iron and redstone and just make myself a new map. Hey, spider. Hey, spider. A lot of spiders, man. Do do do. Do 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 do. Hey, Zumbable. Uh, yeah, I also been playing. Oh man, so playing this game called Planetary Nomads, and I like it, but it's super glitchy, and it makes it nigh unplayable, kind of, and it's really annoying to me. I talked a bit about how there's no friction in some other episode, which drives me crazy. But I've run into a major problem in this week, and so so one of the other problems I'd run into. Okay, so there's no friction, right? So it's a game about building vehicles and traveling across this planet, but then your vehicle won't travel across the planet because it can't drive up slight hills. And so the more wheels you put on it, the better it does. But I don't quite understand how to make a system where the wheels actually react to the ground. And so then you end up with like most of your wheels not touching the ground, and then your vehicle stops moving. Or like all the wheels are on the ground, but you're on a slight hill going, and you're going across the slope instead of upslope or downslope, and then your vehicle just slides sideways for no reason. And I don't know. I don't know. It makes it difficult for sure. And so then you do a lot of this winch stuff, which I recently discovered some tricks with it that make it a little better, but it would be way better if the winch stuff was not necessary, for one, but if you could like fire out harpoons and winch yourself to them and disconnect them from inside the cockpit rather than having to get out of your vehicle, run around, um, grab the hook off the winch, run it over, and maybe it will attach to the anchor you put down. It doesn't always attach, and I don't understand why. Like, I get sometimes I'm like, oh, okay, sure, sure, can't put a cable through the vehicle. Although the game doesn't care if the winch is through the vehicle half the time, just when you're trying to connect it. But sometimes there's nothing and it just won't connect. And I don't mean like I'm outside the range, I just mean like you click on it, little particles appear, and then nothing. Hey, do I bother you while you're walking around? No. Um, and anyways, that's not even the major problem I ran into. So the first major problem I ran into, aside from not being able to go up hills, was oh, is this a town? Did I find a town? I'll take a desert town. I did. There's a town on the hill. It's one of these new towns I haven't seen. I haven't gone exploring a whole lot with all the new terrain gen. Yeah, this one's got the bell and everything. Oh, dude, there was a zombie in your house. Where's your guardian? Aren't you guys supposed to have multiple guardians now? Because the towns are getting so big. Oh, there he is. These are cool looking buildings. What's this? Oh, I thought it was some kind of summoning circle or something. I guess it's kind of supposed to be. Oh, look, there's some redstone. How much redstone do I need? It's one redstone. It's my redstone now. This stops me from having to go underground for it. Or is it 4 redstone around a piece of iron? I can't remember. I don't have any iron, anyways. Alright, so I'm gonna dig down and see if I can't find some iron down here. Um, so yeah, so my major problem happened because of the winch. So I'm going along, and my vehicle, um, maybe it's the design of my vehicles. I don't. It's not though. It's not. It's the game's design of the um, suspensions, and so they're separate from the wheels, and they're like separate blocks. And so you put your suspension down and then you attach your wheel to it. Or you don't have to. The wheel does not have to attach to a suspension. So I assume the idea with the suspension, because it don't matter how smooth or rough the ride is to try and make the wheels stick to the ground better. And so I was putting one suspension per wheel. And then the system I use now is a suspension attached to some blocks with 2 suspensions attached to that, um, with a wheel attached to uh, each suspension attached to the block that's attached to the suspension. That way I get a lot of suspension, all trying to make sure my wheels stay touching the ground. Um, but sometimes you hit a rock, right? So you're going along and hit a rock, and the rock pulls your wheel sideways or something. And so this happened, and when this happened, while I was winching the vehicle and inside the vehicle, while I was winching, because I need to do some steering while it's being winched up the hill or whatever, it hit a rock. Well, most of the time you just winch it through and it pulls it around the rock or over the rock or whatever. Not this time, man. It just kept pulling back farther and farther on that wheel, and it was really goofy looking because like the wheel is like sticking all the way back behind the other wheels, and I'm like, ooh, I hope this doesn't break off. No, no, my vehicle flung into space, literally. Like, well, I guess it's not literally because it didn't happen in real life, but in the game, it actually flung into space. I don't even know if space is part of this game, but my vehicle was suddenly in space, which was also my mobile base. And so my mobile base with all of my supplies and my respawn point were now in space. And so yeah, that was a bit of an issue, because now I've got space. Oh, what the heck, guys? Your cat's down here. You guys are down here. All right. What is? There we go. And so I had to restart the game because, well, I didn't have to restart. What is this? Uh, Oh, charcoal. Um, but I had realized that I was breaking down technology that I hadn't scanned yet, and you have to scan the technology to be able to use it. And that stuff is far between. And so I wanted to go ahead and start over so that I can make sure I got all the terrain scanned. Um, and so while I was doing that, I started over, and I'm doing pretty good this time. I experimented more with the wheels and came up with my two. Actually, it's four wheels per vehicle suspension. Um, and before I just had a suspension with a wheel on it, like six times around my vehicle, and it only went like 7 miles an hour and couldn't climb up hills. And so then same amount of tire space, but more tires, and I ended up being able to do like 25 miles an hour and could climb up hills. And so by having more tires. And so I thought, oh, okay, so this is this game's trick, more tires. But there were bigger tires I hadn't used. So, birch planks, all right. So what I would do is I would have a wheel, and then that was attached to a suspension. Ooh, you're tiny. And then that was attached to a block, and then that block was attached to a suspension, which is attached to my base. And so then what I would do is this suspension here attached to this block, I would attach another suspension, put a wheel on this side too. Only then I was doing this where my suspension was actually in the middle here. And so I'd have this. So there's four wheels per suspension attached to the side of my vehicle. And so I had like three of those on a side. So that was going pretty good. And then I basically am at the end of the game now, and I got the technology together uh, to build flying vehicles. And I'm pretty sure I need. I'm pretty sure I need four of these, right? It's one iron with four redstone around it. I'm almost positive that's the recipe. I don't know how to make a compass. I was gonna say. Oh no, it is that. Cool. Huh. Totally, totally couldn't remember. Okay. And then is the map still a compass surrounded by paper? It is. Look at that. Look at that. All right. We're doing good here. And then we'll make a map. All right. And then I will place this guy down. And we'll expand out the map. Okay. We got to look at the map because it's dumb. Then put the map back in and we expand it out some more. Then we look at the map and then we put it back in and we expand it out some more. See, I thought they'd taken care of that so that you could just keep putting it back in. Yeah, maybe you can. All right, so we're at the limit now. Okay, so this map, I'm here. So that is the way home. Probably that way is the way home. And it's a long way, and I should have brought the supplies for the nether. Shoulda, shoulda. Shoulda, woulda, coulda, didn't. Didn't, woulda, I guess. Shoulda. Shoulda, coulda, didn't. Alright, I'm gonna go out this way though and see if we can maybe find a pyramid while we're out here too. Give us something to find. But I guess I'll be taking desert guys back home since everyone's dead in my regular village. That's okay though, because I feel like I probably should be getting the new villagers instead of the old villagers. Um, but yeah, so then I had my vehicle, my base, my big mobile base, and I'm driving around and I'm doing all the stuff. And I basically had reached the point where I felt like, look, there's another village over here, where I felt like I was at the end of the game. I made this virus, I uploaded this virus, and then uh, after I uploaded the virus, then which was optional quest, but I did it anyways. Shut down the planetary defenses. So I have to make this device that lets me build a teleporter so I can teleport back to Earth, I guess, or Mars. I think it was Mars. And well, the thing needs all these crystals, and you get the crystals from the SOS sites around scattered around the planet, and I didn't have enough of the crystals, so I built a flying vehicle. Experimented a little bit with that until I got one that I liked, and then or I got one that was usable. I wouldn't say I liked it. I feel like something weird is going on with it because I had a vehicle with fewer fan blades before that flew faster than this one, and so don't understand how adding extra oomph to the flying, I almost fell in that hole, makes me fly slower. Might be a weight thing. There might be a weight thing involved, but still, I think that extra fan blades that make you fly should offset extra weight from the fan blade. And so yeah, so that's a little crazy. And I'm going along, and it's fine. It's fine. I'm flying around 50 miles an hour, so twice as fast as my vehicle. But you're in the air too, so you don't run into as many problems uh, with like the ground terrain and stuff. I'd like to make a flying base, but I'm not. I tried it once and it didn't work. But I'm a little better off now with supplies on my second playthrough. And if I go back to the game, there's a big if. And so I don't remember exactly. There's creatures in the game that attack you, I think is what happened. And I got poisoned, and I died from being poisoned by these creatures. And when I died, I was like, oh man, you know what? My vehicle, my flying vehicle, totally does not have a respawn point on it. So I'm going to have to respawn back at my main base, and it's going to be one heck of a drive over here. This is craziness. There's icebergs right off the coast here from the desert. And which isn't that crazy, I guess, in real life, right? Coldest places on Earth are deserts, and sort of sometimes. Um, and so it takes me to the respawn screen. There's no respawn. It wants me to go all the way back to the beginning of the game to the drop pod. I can see my main vehicle on the map, but it's like the opposite side of the Earth from where I'm at. And so I tried to run out to the closest vehicle from the drop pod, and I can't reach it. So I've basically, I don't know if I can build a vehicle because of what you need to do it with and my total lack of supplies. And so I'm not sure because I'm just not sure. I'm not sure. I might have to build a base, just a stationary base, and build up food and water supplies so that I can make it. It's because you can't get some of the specialized materials in all the biomes, and so I can't make the circuits I need to make the vehicle so that I can drive to where I need to go rather than try to fly with my jetpack, which is dumb because I have a level 4 jetpack, which is as high as it can go, back where I died, and uh, and the starter jetpack is terrible. So yeah, so I'm not too sure about that game. And the other game I was playing real quick before I go is this game called Eco, and I want to like it, and it looks like it's got some really cool stuff. But man, I'm pretty sure it's a time sink game mixed with the resource gathering of Ark. And so you get like 20. Your guy can pick up like 5 pieces of wood, right? It looks, which is nothing because it takes like 20 pieces of wood to make one building block. So you knock down a tree, you get like 40 or 60 wood out of it, which is like 3 building blocks, which is the dumbest thing in these games. I don't understand. And then on top of that, this game is like, we're scientifically accurate when it comes to the pollution end of things. I'm like, oh, well, good for you, but it doesn't take 20 iron ore to make 1 iron ingot. Uh, I mean, it probably does in real life, but it definitely doesn't take a forest full of trees to build one room so that you can use your workbench because it has to have a certain amount of indoor space or else it doesn't count. And yeah, so that was my other game this week. All right, well, with that, I am going to call it a day as they just yelled at me that it was dinner time. So click like if you like, subscribe, share, and catch the next one. And I will talk to you later.